The hall of the Galactic Council was quiet. Too quiet. Rows of alien delegates sat in silence, their eyes cold and full of judgment. In the center of the chamber, 5 humans stood straight, their hands bound, but their eyes calm in a way that made even the guards nervous. Chancellor Varel, a tall insectoid creature with golden plates on his back, stepped forward. His voice echoed through the hall. Humanity, your crimes are known across the stars. War, rebellion, refusal to kneel. You were warned, you were offered peace, but you chose to resist. Therefore you are sentenced to exile. You will be dropped. On 09, survival is not expected. A quiet gasp came from a few delegates. 09 was known by another name, the Deathworld. Its surface was full of violent storms, toxic creatures, and plants that ate flesh. No species had ever lasted more than a week there. The sentence was clear. This was not exile. It was execution. But the lead human, a woman named Commander Celine Ward, didn't beg. She didn't even speak. She just looked around the council with sharp, cold eyes. And then she smiled. "Thank you," she said softly. That one word, thank. You made the Chancellor pause. For the first time, doubt flickered in his eyes. Main body of the episode, 1400 to 1500 words. The fall begins 3 days later. The human transport ship was released into orbit above 09. There were no weapons on board, no supplies, only 300 humans, men, women, and even children. Alien guards, watching from their warships, laughed among themselves. They placed bets on how long the humans would last. Some said 3 days. Some said 5. One officer joked, maybe they'll die before they even land. But on the surface, something else was happening. The landing wasn't smooth. 09's winds tore at the transport. Lightning slammed into the shields. Metal bent. Fire broke out in one section. But somehow, the humans managed to bring it down safely. No one died. Inside the damaged ship, Commander Celine stood on a control deck, her voice calm over the intercom. "We are not here to die, we are here to build. Get to work." The humans moved fast. Like soldiers, like survivors. Within hours, they set up a basic perimeter. They salvaged metal, built tents, placed motion sensors, and started scanning the area. They didn't scream. They didn't cry. They prepared, because they were human, and humans had never done what they were told. The planet fights back didn't stay quiet for long. On the second night, a patrol team went missing. No sounds, no bodies, just silence. Tracks were found, deep claw marks in the ground. One motion sensor recorded a blur of movement before cutting out. Whatever had taken them was fast. Too fast. The humans gathered. They studied the footage. An engineer named Malik enhanced the image. For a second, they saw it. A creature like a shadow with long legs, 6 eyes, and skin that shimmered like smoke. "It's not hunting us for food," Celine said. "It's testing us." They built traps, cameras, lures. That night, they caught one of the creatures. It didn't die easily. It took 4 electrified spears to bring it down, but the body was worth more than gold. Its bones were harder than steel. Its muscles stored energy like batteries. Within hours, human scientists were learning from it. On other worlds, species feared death. Worlds. On Earth, humans had learned to turn death into knowledge. The first signal by the 5th day. The humans had done more than survive. They had fortified their base, started growing food in sealed pods, and even reconnected some of the ship's power systems. But then, a strange signal came through. It wasn't coming from the human ship, it came from the human ship. It came from the mountains miles away, old, weak, repeating a pattern. Not human, not council, something else, a distress signal. Malik asked. "No," Celine said, "it's a beacon." The team prepared a scout mission. Drones were launched first, but they failed within minutes of entering the mountains. Magnetic field, whatever was up there, it didn't want to be found, so Celine sent a team of 4 on foot. One of them was Maya Trent, a young communications officer. She'd grown up reading about space. She'd never expected to walk through a place like this. The jungle was thick and alive. Everything moved. Everything had teeth. But Maya pushed forward. After 2 days of hiking, they reached a clearing and froze. Half buried in the cliffside was a door. Not made of stone, not made of anything Earth knew. It shimmered with colors that hurt the eyes to stare at. A broken symbol was carved above. It told alien, powerful. "Commander," Maya whispered into her radio, "we found something. Something ancient." The radio hissed with static. "We're not alone here." Back at the council, while the humans were fighting for every inch of survival, the Galactic Council sat in comfort. Reports came in from orbit. The humans have lasted longer than expected. They've built defenses. They are moving toward the mountain range. Chancellor Virel waved a claw dismissively. It doesn't matter. The planet will finish them off, as it always does. But in his private chambers he rewatched the video of Celine's smile. That calm voice, that thank you. It haunted him because deep inside, he knew something the others didn't. Humanity had never lost because of strength. They lost when they trusted, when they played fair, when they followed the rules. Now, the rules were gone, and he had just given them a place where rules did not exist. Closing last 150 to 200 words, cliffhanger plus suspense. Maya stepped closer to the strange doorway. Her scanner beeped wildly. The structure wasn't just a building, it was alive. Energy flowed through it like a beating heart. Suddenly, the door pulsed. A light appeared on its surface, scanning her face. The alien symbol lit up. The door opened inside. She saw walls covered in strange carvings, machines that floated without noise, and at the center, a glowing sphere held in a cradle of metal and bone. Her eyes widened. This wasn't a ruin. It wasn't dead. It was waiting, and somewhere deep inside it, something whispered in her mind. Welcome, human. Night had fallen on 09, but the planet did not sleep. Winds howled across sharp black mountains. The trees shifted, not from breeze but from movement deep within them. Eyes blinked in the dark. Claws scraped against stone. And something big crawled closer to the human camp. Inside the base, the alarms started to beep. Commander Celine Ward stood at the watchtower staring into the shadows. She didn't blink. Lights to full, she ordered. Activate perimeter drones. Bright white lights cut through the jungle, but nothing was visible. The sensors kept flashing. Something was out there, but it refused to be seen. Suddenly, a scream echoed from the west side. One of the outposts' echo went dark. The feed ended mid-sentence, the screen cutting to static. Celine grabbed her rifle and sprinted toward the gate. No more waiting, she said coldly. If this planet wants to test us, we test it back. Main body minus 1,400 to 1,500 words. The attack. By the time Celine reached Outpost Echo, 3 soldiers were gone. Not dead, gone, no blood, no bodies. Just their rifles on the ground and massive claw marks carved into steel walls. They're not hunting for food, said Corporal Jennings, eyes wide. They sampling us. The security team searched the area. They found a trail of disturbed brush and broken branches leading into a narrow valley. Too narrow for vehicles, too quiet for comfort. Celine ordered the team to fall back, not out of fear to bait whatever had attacked them that night. The humans placed sensor pods all around the area, cameras, drones, even heartbeat detectors. Then they waited. At 3:22, the trap triggered. 3 creatures lunged out of the darkness, all fast and silent, but the humans were ready. Drones dropped from the trees, shocking the creatures with EMP bursts. Nets fired. Bullets followed. One of the beasts fell. Another limped away. The third vanished back into the jungle. It took 7 humans to bring one creature down, but when they studied its body, they forgot their fear. What they found inside, biologist Dr. Ayla Morris led the examination. Its bones are carbon steel fiber, she said, tapping her scanner. Its skin has built-in camouflage. And this, she showed Celine the creature's brain. There's a cybernetic implant inside. It's old, but it's not natural. This thing was ... made. Everyone went silent. Celine narrowed her eyes. So someone's been on this planet before us. Someone tried to weaponize it. The truth became clear. The planet wasn't just dangerous, it had been engineered to be that way. And now the humans were living on top of its old secrets. Maya's returned to days after the creature attack. Maya Trent's voice finally returned. Over the comms she sounded weak, out of breath but alive. Commander ... I made it back, but I'm not alone. The camp's west gate opened and Maya stumbled in, bleeding from a shoulder wound. But what shocked the others wasn't her injury. It was what she was holding. In her hand was a weapon, long, sleek, glowing with blue energy. Not human-made, not council tech. It looked old, ancient, yet it powered on like it had been waiting for her. Maya dropped to her knees. It spoke to me. The ruins. They aren't ruins. They're a vault. And someone or something is still inside. A new signal that night. The energy weapon was placed under heavy guard. Human engineer scanned it. It responded to Maya's touch, but not to anyone else. Its core was made of strange alloys, not found in council databases. Its power source was unknown but steady. Then, the weapon did something unexpected. It projected a hologram. A rotating map of the entire planet appeared above it. Dots lit up in red, one at their base, one in the mountains where Maya had gone, and dozens more scattered across 09. These are sites, Celine said, staring. Old structures, maybe facilities, maybe labs. And we're sitting on top of one of them, Maya nodded, weak but certain. The AI inside the vault called this planet a testing ground, a forge that said the Council was never supposed to find it. The watchers from orbit far above, hidden behind the rings of a nearby moon, a Council observation probe recorded everything. The moment the humans activated the alien weapon, the probe woke up. It transmitted data to the Council's secure channel. Humans have survived 14 cycles, base expanded, hostile specimens studied, ancient tech acquired. Recommend immediate elimination. Chancellor Virel received the report in his private office. He stared at the screen, unmoving. You shouldn't have lasted, he whispered. And now, ... You're learning. He turned to his assistant. Send a ship. Silent class. Wipe them out before the others find out. A Deathworld reclaimed back on the surface. The humans worked faster than ever. Celine organized an elite team to return with Maya to the vault. Engineers set up a lab to study the alien weapon. Patrols grew. Stronger training became daily routine. They weren't just surviving anymore. They were learning, adapting, becoming part of the Deathworld and making it theirs. At the same time, something strange began to happen. The jungle stopped attacking. Creatures started avoiding the human camp. Even the weather shift passed around the base. The AI said the planet recognizes us now, Maya told Celine. It's watching, testing, and maybe approving. Final cliffhanger, last 150 to 200 words as the stars blinked in the night sky. One of the human satellites picked up a strange blip. An object had entered orbit. Small, fast, silent. It didn't match any known ship class. Celine walked into the command center and stared at the radar. Is it Council? She asked. Malik nodded. Pale, worse. It's stealthed. No transponder. No signal. Celine activated lockdown protocols. They're not coming to talk. Meanwhile, far below the base, in the deep dark of the alien vault, the AI inside the ruins spoke again, its voice clearer now. The galaxy exiled you here to die, but you are not dead. You are awake. And if you survive, what comes next? You will be more than human. Celine looked up at the stars. Let them come. The mountain shook, not from an earthquake but from something waking up, deep underground. In a vault forgotten for thousands of years, metal walls began to glow. Symbols lit up in soft blue. Air hissed from sealed doors. And somewhere far below, the human base, an ancient voice whispered. Test subject Alpha. Environment shift acknowledged. Genetic match detected. Human. At that same moment, Maya stood inside the vault's outer chamber, the alien weapon still pulsing in her hands. Lights danced across the walls, reacting to her presence. Behind her, Celine and the team stepped slowly into the darkness. Their flashlights flickered, then went dead. The vault didn't need them. It lit itself. Then the floor moved. A staircase formed from the rock, spiraling down into the unknown. Celine didn't hesitate. Let's go. Whatever this place is, it woke up because of us. Main body 1400 to 1500 words. Descent into the vault. The stairs led down for nearly 300 meters. The deeper they went, the more advanced the structure became. Walls shifted to smooth alloy. Pipes pulsed like veins. And every few meters, the group passed strange panels with unreadable symbols. Maya paused. I think this place is a lab, or maybe even a factory. Celine nodded. Not abandoned, just asleep. As they reached the final level, a circular chamber opened before them. Floating at the center was a massive crystal core, suspended between 4 spinning rings. Data streams ran through it like light. A voice echoed clear.com, and ancient. Welcome, successors. You have survived. The forge. Everyone froze. I am set. This facility was created by the architects to test species fit to inherit their legacy. Celine narrowed her eyes. What legacy? Power, the voice answered. Technology, dominion. The forge was left behind to find those strong enough to claim it. Until now, ... all have failed. The architects, the humans, listened as Sentinel Virix told its story. Long before the Council even existed, a species called the architects ruled the stars. They didn't conquer, they built worlds, weapons, sentient machines. Even gravity itself bent to their will. But fearing their own power, they vanished, leaving behind tests across the galaxy. One of those tests was 09. Species were brought here, the AI said. Watched, judged, none adapted. Until now. Celine's face was unreadable. You're saying we passed your test? Not yet. You survived. That earns you a choice. The walls shimmered. Dozens of rooms appeared through hidden panels. Inside labs, workshops, war chambers, and a control chair at the center of it all. Take command, use the forge, or walk away. The Council warship approaches meanwhile, far above the surface. The Council's stealth ship entered low orbit. Its captain, Commander Threx, watched the screen coldly. Humans have breached ancient ruins. This cannot be allowed. Prepare orbital strike. But something was wrong. The ship's targeting systems flickered. Their scanners refused to lock on. Interference, the technician muttered, coming from the surface. The commander frowned. From humans. The AI aboard the ship replied, negative, unknown source, artificial, advanced. Suddenly a blast of energy shot up from the mountain, harmless but bright. It wasn't an attack, it was a signal. The decision to activate back inside the vault. Selene and her team stood in front of the control chair. What if we turn it on and it kills us? Malik whispered. What if we don't? Selene said, and we're wiped out anyway. Maya touched the control panel. The alien weapon on her back began to glow again, connecting with the system. The chair powered up. Input accepted. Command chain initialized. Selene sat down. The moment she did, her mind flooded with data maps, blueprints, languages, schematics for machines that bent time and space. But it didn't hurt. It felt like unlocking something already inside her. Rebuilding begins with the forge activated. Humans now had access to everything. Energy shields stronger than Council tech weapons that adapted mid-battle small drones. That could repair anything, even anti-gravity drives. Selene ordered production to begin immediately. The base above started to transform. Towers rose. Lights glowed across the jungle. Hidden doors opened across 09 linking to other facilities. But something else came online too, a distress beacon. One the Forge had never sent before. Warning, external hostiles approaching. Recommend full defensive activation. The humans were no longer alone. A visitor from the shadows that night. An alarm triggered in Sector 4, but when the guards arrived, they didn't find a creature. They found a man, not human, tall, pale skin, long arms, wearing robes covered in ancient symbols. He raised his hands. I am not your enemy, he said. I was exiled here many cycles ago. The man introduced himself as Oren Vel, a member of a species wiped out by the Council long ago. His people were exiled to 09 and died off slowly. He had survived, hiding in ruins, learning from what little the planet shared. Until now, it refused us, he said, but it listens to you. Selene studied him carefully. Then, help us, or step aside, Oren bowed. I will help, because I want to see the galaxy fall to those who think they are gods. Final cliffhanger, last 150 to 200 words above 09. The Council ship locked onto the beacon. No more delays. Commander Threx barked. Fire. A massive plasma beam shot toward the surface straight at the mountain, but just before impact, something rose from the surface. A silver shield hexagonal and glowing blocked the blast. The mountain didn't even shake. On board the Council ship, alarms went off. They're protected. We don't know how. Retreat, the commander ordered. And tell the Council, they've made a mistake. Back in the vault, Selene stood in the command chamber, looking up at a new screen. The Forge had unlocked one last image, a star map on it. Dozens of red marks appeared. This one, an ancient site left behind by the architects. Selene's voice was quiet but firm. We're not trapped anymore. We're going to take all of it. In the heart of the Galactic Council's central chamber, panic had finally arrived. Live feeds from 09 were being projected across the high dome, holograms showing impossible structures rising from jungle, defense towers, shield grids, flying drones. And worst of all, a Council warship pulling back in defeat. They should have died, shouted Chancellor Virel, slamming a clawed hand on the table. No species survives that planet. None. But the evidence was clear. The humans were alive. They had activated an ancient alien system, and now they were growing fast. The Council's top generals argued, it's just one colony. They don't have ships yet. We can still end them. But a soft, mechanical voice interrupted the room. You don't understand humans, said High Executor Fryn of the Synth Collective. They don't grow like others. They evolve while fighting, and we just gave them the greatest weapon in the galaxy. Main body 1400 to 1500 words back on 09. The human base was now a fortress. A week after activating the Forge, Selene stood on a raised platform watching armored vehicles roll through the jungle. The air shimmered with shield domes. Giant plasma turrets rotated in silent defense. And far above, 2 new satellites launched using anti-gravity lifts. Humanity wasn't hiding anymore. They were building with purpose. Celine turned to Maya. Status: 10 new systems unlocked. Another facility activated near the southern ridge. We also made contact with something else. What do you mean? Maya hesitated. Another species. Exiled here, not council. They're watching us, and they're afraid. The forgotten exile Selene sent a scout team to investigate. In a valley surrounded by jagged cliffs. They found a hidden village, half ruins, half caves. There, a group of tall, four-armed creatures watched silently. Their leader stepped forward and spoke in broken galactic standard. We were left here, long ago. We watched you. You survived, and the planet chose you. Celine lowered her weapon. We're not your enemy, the alien bowed. Then we follow you. It wasn't loyalty. It was hope. The kind only humans seemed to ignite. The humans didn't just gain new allies, they gained proof. The Council had been using 09 as a silent graveyard for centuries. The first ship launches, using the Forge's schematics the engineers built. Something extraordinary, a sleek atmospheric craft powered by anti-gravity and fusion core. Its armor was light but unbreakable. Its weapons, still experimental, but it could fly. The ship, named Revenant 1, launched from the cliffs and shot into orbit. Cheers echoed across the base. For the first time in weeks, the humans weren't just surviving. They were taking back the sky. From the bridge, Malik stared out into the stars. They wanted us buried. Instead, we're rising. The Council's secret meeting in a hidden part of the galaxy. Far from the public halls, the Council's top species met in shadows. This cannot be allowed to spread. If other exiles hear of this, if humans start reaching other ruins, we'll lose control. They made a decision. They would send a new fleet not to 09 but to Earth, quietly, to erase any trace of where humanity came from. But not all agreed. One ambassador, old reptilian diplomat, stood up. You fear them, but fear means they're already winning. Perhaps we should speak to them. He was laughed out of the room, and as he left he whispered, your mistake wasn't sending them to a Deathworld. Your mistake was assuming they'd die like you would. Orin's secret back in the vault. Orin Veltha, lone survivor of a wiped-out species, took Celine deeper underground. He revealed a hidden door in the forge, unlocked only by those the system accepted. Inside they found ancient storage, pods filled with technology far beyond even the forge's shared data, graviton warheads, neural-linked fighter armor, biological healing tanks, and a map leading to a hidden satellite in deep space. Celine stared at it. Is this another vault? Orin nodded. No, worse, it's the factory. That's where the architects made things no empire was meant to touch. Celine smiled. And that's our next destination. Final cliffhanger, last 150 to 200 words far above the planet. A strange ship entered the edge of the system. It wasn't council. It wasn't human. It moved like a ghost, silent, invisible to scanners. Inside, a creature with molten eyes watched the human world carefully. They have touched the forge, it whispered. Tut, another voice responded from a shadowed corner. Then the time has come. The architect's final test begins. Below, unaware of what was watching, Celine stood before a crowd of humans and exiled. Allies, we are not what they expected. We are not dead. And we are not alone. She raised her voice. We were exiled to this planet. Now we're going to take the stars. The sky turned black. Not from nightfall but from the largest storm ever seen on Xeros-9. Lightning tore across the horizon like angry claws. The wind screamed. Trees bent and cracked. Metal twisted in midair. It was a superstorm strong enough to tear ships from orbit. Inside the command tower, Celine watched the radar. The storm was heading straight for the human base. Maya stared at the screen. If that hits us, it could wipe out everything. Celine didn't panic. She simply turned to Malik. Is the shield ready? He nodded, nervous. It's never been tested. Not like this. Celine's voice was calm. Then it's time. She pressed the button. Across the base, towers hummed to life. Energy surged through metal spires. Blue light climbed into the air and snapped, forming a shimmering dome over the colony. The first lightning strike hit and bounced off harmlessly, and for the first time in history, a species had stopped a 09 storm. Main body 14001500 words. The superstorm rages. The storm didn't stop after one hit. It got worse. Winds rose to 400 kilometers per hour. Acid rain slammed against the dome. Trees flew through the air like knives. In every direction, chaos ruled the planet. But inside the human base, the lights stayed on. The people stayed safe. The storm shields designed using architect tech held strong. Celine looked out over the colony. The planet gave us its worst, she said. And we're still here. The Council watches and worries far above, hidden in a stealth satellite. Council observers watched the storm in real time. One officer muttered, "This storm destroyed entire fleets before. They shouldn't be alive." The admiral in charge, a cold-blooded krill named Yethar, turned pale. They didn't survive. They adapted. They turned the Forge's knowledge into protection. He looked at the other officers. This is no longer a colonnade. This is a stronghold. Back on the Council homeworld, the panic grew. Whispers spread. What if the humans leave the planet? What if they build ships with architect tech? What if they unite other exiles? The Council made a decision. A second strike force would be sent, quiet, fast, this time to erase the Forge, repairs and discoveries. As the storm passed, the humans stepped outside into the silence. The jungle had been torn apart. The land was flat in all directions. Nothing moved, but the base, untouched. Malik and his team used the storm's leftover energy to power deeper scans. What they found shocked everyone. A massive underground structure, even bigger than the Forge. Celine gathered the team. Is it connected? Maya stared at the readings. No, it's older, and whatever it is, it's waking up. Meanwhile, in orbit, the Council's second strike force entered the system. 5 ships, no signals, no lights, total stealth. Their mission, get to the Forge, steal what they could, destroy the rest. But something went wrong. As they passed over the planet, the ground below moved. Spikes rose from hidden parts of the Terran Architect defense turrets, lightless, silent, but deadly. Before the Council ships could react, 2 were hit by invisible blasts of gravity. No explosion, just implosion. Crushed in silence. Abort mission, one captain screamed. Too late. The humans didn't fire a single shot. The planet defended them. The new plan back. At the human base, Celine received the satellite images of the destroyed ships. They tried to sneak in, Malik said. But the Forge, it fought them off. Celine understood what that meant. The planet has accepted us, and it's protecting its own. But she also knew something else. They'll come again with more, with worse. That night, Celine called a meeting of all allied species still alive on Zerus Ninth, forgotten, the exiled, the broken dot. She stood before them and said, "We all lost something to the Council, but now we have a chance to build something better. Join us, help us defend this world, and one day we will leave it together." Cheers rose from the chamber. The Deathworld had become a rallying point. Final cliffhanger, last 150 to 200 words. In the deepest part of the Forge, something else came online. A vault door opened. Inside was a sphere, spinning slowly, glowing, with soft blue light. The AI Sentinel Vyrix spoke once more. Defense protocols complete. Initiating. Project Sky. After Selene watched the data appear on her screen. Schematics for something massive, bigger than any ship ever built by humans. A ship with no engines, no weapons, because it didn't need them, Maya whispered. "Is this a space station?" Selene shook her head. "No, it's something more." And the stars above flickered. An unknown signal echoed through space. At 092, the survivors of the Forge, we see you. We are coming. The signal came without warning. 3 sharp tones, then silence, then a whisper in a language no human had heard before but somehow understood. "We see what you've awakened. We are coming. You are not alone." Inside the command tower, on 0's 9 alarms blared. The signal wasn't from the Council. It didn't match any known alien race. It came from deep space outside the galactic core. Malik stared at the decoded message. "Whoever sent this, they were watching us before. We activated the Forge." Celine leaned in close, "And now they're heading here." Maya stepped back from the console, her voice quiet. "They're not Council, but they're not friendly either." Outside, the sky shimmered as the storm clouds faded. But above the planet, far beyond human satellites, something moved. A ship huge and bone-white drifted silently toward 0's 9. It had no windows, no lights, just claws carved into its hull, and a symbol burned into its center. A single eye, main body 1 for 001500 words. The hunters are real. Hours later, the unknown ship entered low orbit. It didn't broadcast, it didn't respond, but one of the older exiled species, the 4-armed Anthony, recognized the symbol. "The hunters," Orenvel said quietly. "We thought they were myth, but they are real." He stepped toward Celine, his face pale. "They follow the Architect's old signals. They seek out rising species and wipe them out before they can challenge the balance." Celine didn't flinch. "So they kill anyone who survives the test?" Oren nodded. "Exactly, they are." The second part of the Forge, the final trial, the observation begins. The alien ship did not land. It simply hovered, watching from orbit. It deployed a cloud of black drones, silent, fast, and impossible to track. They swept across the jungle, recording everything. One drone reached the edge of the human base and paused. It didn't attack. It scanned. Malik watched it on the cameras. They're learning about us, our defenses, our weapons. Celine stared at the screen, and when they're done watching, they'll attack. A message in the vault. The forge reacted again. Deep within the core, a hidden chamber unlocked. The AI Sentinel Virix displayed new data files left by the architects for any species that survived long enough to meet the hunters. You are not the first, the voice said, but you may be the last. Celine stepped inside the chamber. On the wall she saw carvings, not word scenes. Each one showed a species rising, building, then being destroyed by ships that looked exactly like the one now orbiting 09. The hunters exist to control progress, the AI continued. They destroy those who grow too quickly. Selena's fists clenched. Then will grow faster than they can stop. Preparing for first strike, Selene called an emergency meeting with her officers and the exiled leaders. We don't know when they'll attack, but we can't wait. They formed a plan. Fortify the forge's upper ring with anti-gravity turrets. Launch Revenant 2, a stealth scout ship. Track and capture one of the drones to study its tech. Maya volunteered for the capture mission. Celine gave her a tracker and a warning. You've faced council hunters. These are worse. Then I'll learn faster, Maya replied. The capture Maya and her recon unit followed the drones. Deep into the southern jungle, they set a trap using heat signatures and EMP bait. When one drone paused to scan, they triggered the trap. The blast worked. The drone crashed into the dirt, struggling to reboot. Maya dashed forward, slammed a power suppressor on its core, and dragged it back to the crawler. But before they could celebrate, 2 more drones dropped silently from the trees. They didn't scan, they attacked. Blades extended. Energy bolts fired. Recon unit returned fire, shielding Maya as she ran with the captured drone. One soldier fell, another was wounded. Maya dove into the crawler and hit the thrusters. As the crawler lifted off, the jungle below burned in green flames. Studying the enemy back at the forge, Malik and the science team tore the drone apart carefully. It's alive, he muttered. Part machine, part creature. The drone's brain had no circuits. It was grown. And inside its memory core, they found a terrifying clue. Target priority. Human Command Core designates Celine Ward. Celine stared at the screen. They know my name. They're coming for you, Maya said. Good, Celine replied. Let them. The first strike without warning. The alien ship launched its first attack, not with beams or bombs, but with gravity. A section of the jungle collapsed into itself. Dozens of creatures disappeared in seconds. Mountains cracked. An old exile outpost was flattened. Celine didn't wait. She activated Project SKYFIRE. Above the base, a silver structure unfolded, not a station, but a living platform. It moved with thought, powered by Forge AI, armed with defenses no council ship had ever seen. From the sky, the hunters saw it. And for the first time, they paused. Final cliffhanger. Last 150 to 200 words in the blackness of space. The alien ship powered up. Its hull cracked open, revealing 3 more eyes. Each one glowed with red light. A transmission was sent to the forge, not words, images. Earth in flames. Human cities destroyed. The face of Celine crossed out. Maya looked at the message. They're showing us the future they plan. Celine's eyes didn't blink. Then it's time we show them something else. She raised her hand. On her command, Skyfire's core charged and the battle for the planet began. The sky burned green, not from fire but from energy pulled straight from the planet's core, from orbit. The hunter ship prepared its next move. Below, Skyfire, the human architect hybrid platform, began to glow with shifting light. Celine stood at the center command node. Around her, exiled engineers, human tacticians, and AI holoconstructs worked in sync. All species once broken now stood as one. Suddenly, a pulse shot up from the jungle. The forge had made its decision. Its voice echoed through every speaker. Confirmed. Primary threat detected. Authorization granted. Planetary defense system online. The ground rumbled. The trees bowed. And mountains began to move. Main body 1400 to 1500 words. The hidden weapons of 09 from beneath ancient cliffs. Massive towers rose 6 in total, each shaped like stone obelisks, humming with power. Oren. Vel stepped forward, stunned. Those aren't weapons, they're controllers. They speak to the planet itself. Maya watched as vines curled upward, surrounding each tower, almost like the jungle itself was protecting them. Then the first tower fired. Not a beam, not a missile, but a gravity burst so strong. The hunter's drone field shattered mid-air. The alien ship tilted in orbit, struggling to adjust. Inside, the hunters hissed, "The world obeys them. Then we will destroy the world." Skyfire engages, high above the forge. Skyfire ascended into orbit. Celine, Maya and Malik were on board, by technology that moved with thought. It wasn't piloted, it was linked to their minds. "Skyfire is alive," Maya whispered. When the hunter ship launched a direct strike, Skyfire responded in kind. A pulse shield deflected the energy. Then a counterbeam lanced across the blackness, striking the hunter ship's outer hull for the first time ever. The hunter's armor cracked. Planet-wide resistance in the surface. The forge opened every vault. Exiles from a dozen species took up recovered weapons. Humans distributed architect, shields and drones. Jungle creatures once wild began to attack only the alien invaders. The planet had made its choice. Celine watched it all from orbit. "They exiled us to die," she said. "Now the planet is fighting for us. The cost of war, but not everything, went in humanity's favor." One of the gravity towers, Tower 3, was hit by a precision orbital strike. It exploded in fire, and with it, dozens of engineers and guards. Malik tried to restore its systems, but the core was gone. The shield covering part of the colony flickered. Then, from orbit, a drop pod fell from the hunter ship. Not a drone, a warrior dot. It landed like a meteor dot. When it emerged, it stood 12 feet tall. Bladed arms, no eyes, just a single glowing symbol on its chest. It walked straight through the defense line. "They sent one down," Maya said, "to show us what real fear looks like." Selene versus the hunter. Selene descended in an assault. Shuttle dash alone. She found the creature in the center of the old jungle clearing, surrounded by crushed drones and smoldering trees. She didn't run, she didn't hide. She walked up and faced it. "You like hunting us?" she asked. "Try this." She lifted the architect weapon from her back, its form now fused with human design. The duel began. Lightning cracked, trees burned. Celine moved faster than human. The creature adapted to every attack, but Celine learned faster. With one final move, she leaped into the air, overloaded the blade and drove it straight through the hunter's chest. The symbol blinked. Then it went dark. Final wave above the planet. The hunter ship prepared a final weapon, a planet buster, on ancient illegal device made to destroy life without touching the land. Skyfire detected the energy spike. "We can't stop the beam," Malik warned. Celine turned to the forge interface. "Then we don't stop it, we catch it." She connected Skyfire's main reactor to the forge itself. The planet responded. All remaining towers fired. All remaining humans gave energy. The shield rose higher than atmosphere, taller than sky. The beam struck. And vanished. Absorbed. Redirected. Back at the hunter ship. Final cliffhanger. Last 150 to 200 words. The alien vessel cracked apart in orbit. It didn't explode, it folded, collapsing into a small black sphere. Then it disappeared, no trace left. Celine stood on Skyfire's command deck, staring into the stars. "That wasn't their full force," Maya said softly. "It was just the scouts." Celine nodded. "Then we'll be ready for the rest." Below them, the colony celebrated. The jungle was silent, but the stars were not, because far beyond the rim, dozens of red lights turned on. More ships, more hunters. The final test had just begun. 1,000 stars lit up red. Not suns but ships. Hunter fleets, rising from the edge of the galaxy. Silent, cold, unstoppable. Inside the human command tower on 09, every screen showed the same thing. Inbound fleets, 47 confirmed. Time, to arrival 13 days. Celine stood in silence, Maya beside her, Malik, pale, calculating. They had survived the forge, defeated one hunter ship, turned a Deathworld into a fortress. But now, this is the end, Malik whispered. Celine shook her head. "No, this is the beginning." She turned to the AI projection of Sentinel Virix. "You told us the architects wanted a successor. You gave us your test. Now we give you our answer. Main body 1400 to 1500 words, a choice, hide or rise." The forge offered a new option, one that had never been shown before. "You may hide within the planet, bury the knowledge, the hunters will pass. Or, you may awaken the final archive." Celine looked to her people, the humans, the exiles, the survivors, and she made her choice. "We awaken it, unlocking the final archive deep under the forge, deeper than any previous rumor chamber opened." The final archive wasn't a weapon. It was a legacy, the last project of the architects before they vanished. Inside were shipyards the size of mountains, star maps with wormholes known to no species, seeds of planets never touched by the Council, blueprints for Skyfire-class vessels. Mass-producible. Selena's eyes widened. They didn't just want to test us, they wanted us to continue them. The humans got to work. Factories rose overnight, allies volunteered, machines sang. And for the first time in galactic history, a new empire was being born, not to rule, but to protect. The Council begs for peace, and news of the hunters spread fast. Even the Galactic Council, those who exiled humanity, they sent envoys to 09 cloaked in shame. We were wrong, the ambassador said. Help us. You have the power now. We do not. Selene didn't rage. She simply said, you didn't break us. You built us. By accident. Now will never forget us. She did not promise peace, just she promised watching eyes. The fleet lifts. 13 days passed. And on the final dawn, the sky was filled with ships, not hunter ships. Human ships. 10 Skyfire-class vessels, dozens of allied crafts. Old ruins turned into living fortresses. Selene stood aboard the first human command carrier, the Echo of Earth. Maya stood at weapons, Malik at data systems. The exiled forces rallied around them. This is no longer just about survival, Selene said. This is about belonging in the stars, and proving that those they tried to erase will now protect the future. The final battle begins. The hunters entered the system like a tidal wave. Cold, precise, emotionless, but the humans were ready. Ships created a shield web. Planetary towers unleashed storms across orbit. The jungle itself died to forge energy, fought back, capturing intruders in living vines and crystallized roots. Selena's fleet didn't just fight, they adapted. Each shot they took, their ships learned faster. Each move the hunters made, they countered harder. It was no longer a test, it was a reversal. For the first time in history, the hunters lost. One last ship, but the final ship was different. It was not built by the hunters, it was architect and design, buried beneath the hunter fleet, waiting. It sent a message. Final evaluation complete. Humanity has passed. Selene froze. Maya whispered, what does that mean? The architect's ship responded, you are not the successor, you are the evolution. And with that, the last architect ship transferred its core memory to the Echo of Earth, and vanished into light. Final scene, last 200 words. Weeks later, 09 was quiet. No more storms, no more screams, just the hum of a planet at peace. Selene stood on the balcony of the new capital tower built from architect alloy and human steel. She watched the stars. Behind her, the exiled children laughed. Beside her, Skyfire hovered like a watchful guardian, and in her hands was the symbol of the forge, now worn around her neck like a medal. Maya joined her. We're not exiles anymore. Selene nodded. We're something new. She raised her hand. Above them, a portal opened, built from architect tech, powered by human code. It led not to war, but to the future. Let's show the galaxy what humanity truly is. The stars waited, and this time humanity walked in by choice.